The streets, roads, and dusty lanes of Colombia have been fertile territory for myths and legends since before the arrival of the Spaniards. Tales of the La Pasola and one-legged wailing banshee that forever sought their child at the end of El Durand, a backwards-footed goblin that led travels to their doomed, nibbled at the corners of journeymen's ease for centuries. Although these stories mainly trouble those living in or passing through rural areas, the growth of the cities brought it with a new breed of urban legend rooted in the primal distrust we still harbor, somewhere deep within the modern technology. An example of this on the phantom bus that allegedly roams the city streets at night. Supposedly young women who boarded alone are found mutilated in overgrown outlying fields a few days later. A frozen look of abject terror illustrated the moment of their last tormented breath. With that being said, given that you're certainly not a young woman, at least not at the time you checked, and that it's on 5:30 on a Tuesday afternoon, phantom buses and handicapped gremlins are the last thing on your mind. You've been using Bogota's public transportation system for over 2 decades, and your greatest concern is that traffic levels have all become unmanageable since the latest mayor took office. However, home is about 80 blocks away, so your only choice is to wait until the right bus comes along. Walking would certainly take longer than putting up with any traffic jam. When the bus displaying the route sign you're hoping for shows up, it is advertised fare is 200 pesos lower than the standard going rate these days. This usually indicates that the vehicle in question is older and a bit uncomfortable than most, but no bus rider in history of the city has given a damn about that. Folks that consider themselves richer and above this mode of transportation pay 7 times much to get around by cab, and sarcastically expose themselves to a higher chance of being mugged or robbed. More power to them, right? No one ever avoids seeking further discounts. You ask the wizened driver if he'll let you on for 1,000. The wrinkled, musty-looking man's eyes never leave the road as he silently takes your bill and slides it into the purse hanging from the young bony gear stick. Satisfied, you turned your attention to the cabin, and what would make this ride ideal would be an empty seat. Curiously enough, considering the time of day, there aren't enough passengers aboard for anybody to be standing. A few available spots are in sight, so you choose the one on the left, toward the middle. Both aisles and the window seat are free, and you sigh contentedly as you sprawl out on one of your knee nested against the other. This particular trip would be over in no time. The driver's radio is off and your phone's battery ran out an hour ago, so you pass the time by staring out the window and watching the vendors ply their wares and car drivers nod along to whatever music they're enjoying. Your position eventually starts taking a toll on your back, so you strained up and take the chance to examine your fellow passengers. None of them seem to be riding together, given that everybody is quietly facing the front of the bus. They are so uncommonly old, not in the sense that they're over 100, but in the sense that nobody seems to be under 75. You find this a bit odd, and for a brief moment the idea that you don't belong in there flashes through your mind, and it's a silly thought, but combined with the bus's particularly strong, although not necessarily a typical, smell of must and metal, it makes you look forward at the end of the trip. Nonetheless, there was another 30 or 40 blocks to go. You look out the window again and zone out, and let your mind go wherever will for a while. The sight of Pacho's Bakery pulls out in front of your rearview 20 minutes later. You get up and make your way past through the silent companions to the rear exit, where you hunt for a little silver button that will let the driver know that you've reached your stop. As you spot it above the door, you realize that nobody boarded or left the vehicle since you got on, which is particularly weird for such a rush hour. Shrugging it off as a weird coincidence, you press down on the button and grab onto the thing. You are sitting on your seat facing the front of the bus. What the hell just happened? You looked around and see that everyone is still where they were for a moment ago. Trying to make eye contact with them seemed fruitless, since they all seem to be lost whatever his old minds wander. The thought of saying something runs through your head, but you decide against it. But what you say anyway? You were probably zoned out that you simply imagined getting up to ring the driver's bell. That's probably it. Your daydreams are occasionally so vivid that leaving them is downright startling. Besides, you're already 2 blocks past your stop. Call it a weird thing that happened on your way home or whatever. But for now you should get off the bus. There's no point in having to walk back too far. You once again get off your seat and head for the rear exit, somewhat unnerved by the passengers' stoic disinterest in everything around them. There's the button, right where you remembered it, except that you can't remember it, of course, since you've never actually been back there. You probably saw it when you got on. After grabbing onto the guardrail, these bastards occasionally decide to stop on a dime when you ring. You look towards the driver, put your thumb on the button. You are sitting on your seat, facing onto the bus. A piercing chill ran down your spine, and instead of fading away, it spreads through every of your extremities. It's not a shift in the body or ambient temperature. It's the chill you feel when suddenly consumed by the level of fear that slightly precedes terror. Something really messed up is going on there. You don't know what it is, but you don't want to. You don't want to be here anymore. A feeling of bitter solitude is now gnawing at your mind. Whatever these people around you are thinking, they clearly don't give a damn about what's going on with you. Therefore, you once again decide to avoid saying anything and simply lift yourself up the seat, not processing the fact that you did it with less agility than you should have been the case. All you want right now is to get off the bus. Besides, it's already advanced more than 10 blocks past your street, which suddenly feels like a distastefully distance long to walk. This secondary to the point hand. However, you'll have to get off this damn thing. As you make your way back, an old lady in the back road looks up at you. Her expression tells you nothing, but the way she fixes on you on your torso, to be precise, as if you were just another hunk of vehicle further spikes from the almost overpowering sense of dread now coursing through your veins. Whatever you can't panic, not now. You stand at the back of the bus. Instead of going for the button, you yell at the driver. You yell at the driver to stop to let you off, that you've already run twice, but nothing comes of it. You curse at him, tell him what you will die and wish for great evil upon his kin, but the door remains unmoved. The man is not listening, or he doesn't care, or he doesn't want you to get off, but you don't give a damn what he wants or doesn't want. So you grab onto the bars, take a back momentum, send a solid kick right into the column of hinges that. You are sitting in your seat facing the front of the bus. It takes a moment to register, maybe more than a moment, maybe it's a full minute, and as you realize that the bus doesn't want you to leave, you also realize that your right knee hurts from the unnatural piercing sharpness. It's the same leg you used against the door, and now it feels like all but broken. This quickly becomes a distant concern when you attempt to massage it, even though it's because you hadn't noticed your hands. These are not the hands of a 25-year-old. They are wrinkly, set with well-defined veins, and even lightly patched with silver spots. As you study your hands and arms, cold terror envelops at every corner of your psyche. You touch your face and feel wrinkles and whiskers that didn't previously exist upon your cheekbones. Your head is patched with a few atomic strands of hair. As your fingertip grazes your coarse scalp, a spark of electricity shoots through and down to the almost private recesses of your being. Your eyes dried up, open wide and unbelieving, and you felt 7-ton lump of horror colossus in your otherwise paralyzed throat. You must leave this evil bus. You must leave it at once before it finishes what it begun. You carefully make your way out of your seat. No need for any further injury. The head towards the front, towards the driver. Perhaps you can reason with him, or perhaps you can't club with him to death with a flashlight or something, since there are ways variety trinkets and gadgets at the front of it. You are sitting in your seat, facing the front of the bus. It takes a good 5 or 10 minutes for you to come into terms of what was happening to you, to understand that your life is vanishing before your eyes. Your hands are now like those of your grandmother. Your back hurts from all the base you've ran all the way to your neck, and your eyes can barely focus on the huge signs posted above the windows. Even your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. It takes you a while to determine what you should make of another attempt at the exit. Perhaps violence isn't the answer. Perhaps you could gently pull it open. Perhaps if you treat the bus like a living, gentle being instead of a demonic machine, it will let you out perhaps. The old woman is looking at you again. You notice her blue jacket, which is far much too big for her. If it were a blouse of the same size, it would hang loosely from the gaunt frame. A tiny hesitant tear forms on her frail face, but then follows a meandering path down her aged features to land on her wrist with an eerie fantasy. There is a red tattoo to watch around her wrist, some sort that is currently rage with all kids graduating from high school. You examine the door, two planes joined by a vertical line of hinges, coated to the right with a rubber pad to avoid the contact damage. The door is slightly bent inwards. As you notice this glimmer of hope run through you, if you can insert. You are sitting in your seat, facing the front of the bus. What the fuck is going on with my hands? Why are they old? My hands are the hands of an old man, not of my grandfather. Of an old man behind you starts when you turn to him and yell at him and grab his face and scream at him to let you off he mouths something to you. You don't understand. His teeth, his blood, your teeth, oh my god, my teeth are like tiny, like dust. They are, what the hell, how long have I been here? Fuck, I'm breaking the window with my elbow. Even if it breaks, I don't want to die in here more of. You are sitting in your seat, facing the front of the bus. After a long time, you glance down at your hands. They are gnarled, rhythmic blood-splattered claws of a hag that seem to be more one generation's share of horrors. A hag? A hag is not the right word. A hag is a woman, right? At least so it was in mother's stories. Like those La Placenta, your knee still hurts, but not as much as your elbow. It feels like it is shattered. Ah yes, this bus, you must get off of it. You know you must get off of it now. You do not remember why you must, but it's imperative of what you do. It is urgent. It was urgent. You are so tired. You try to lift yourself off of the seat, but your knee buckles under your weight. This is the chance you fall back on your bench. You must get off the bus. You must remember these buses. They used to take you to work. You steady yourself on the bench, and you'll try to get off the bus. But in that moment, you must rest. The bus can wait. You are sitting on your seat, facing the front of the bus. You are sitting on your seat, facing the front of the bus. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video. And I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.